What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is another and the final 2025 edition of Post-Race Conversations. He is the one, the only, the stat man himself, Mr. Steven Stumpf, our NASCAR content director. I am Bryan Timothy Del Nolen. Steven, it was the crowning of a champion, and for the longest time it felt like it was going to be the driver of the number 11 car. He led the most laps. He led multiple stages, did not win the first stage. That belonged to William Byron, but it all came crashing down when William Byron cut a tire with about 3 laps to go. Everybody did pit stops, and in the end, once again, for 20 straight years, it was not Denny's time. Kyle Larson is your 2025 champion. Just what's the overall feeling towards this? Is it mad, sad? Just how do you describe what the emotion is like?
I think more than anything, it's just shock.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a fan and you have allegiances in this, you'll have differing emotions, differing opinions. But I think that when we go to this final race, these are the rules, but I think we all want to see the driver that performed the best end up with the crown. There may have been controversy last year about Joey Logano winning the championship with the season he had, but when it came down to the final race, he was the best driver, and that best driver this year was Denny Hamlin. I mean, let's look at his day. Won the pole, led 208 laps, the most anyone has led at Phoenix in the history of the Championship 4 race here. It's the most laps he has ever led at Phoenix, too. And in his last 3 Championship 4 races, 2019, 2020, 2021, he led 2 laps. So this is really the first time, in his effort to get a championship, this was the first time that let's be honest, he had it won. He had it, yeah. It was, second to last restart, with 10 to go. He had a 3.5 second lead. He was pulling away. He had the best short run car in the field, the lap times, everything proved it, and just with 3 to go, unfortunately, the second place car just had a flat tire and it brought out a caution. And I think something to note about is William Byron felt so bad for Denny that when they did their presser after the race, he actually apologized to him. And considering,
Which is ironic because his teammate won the championship.
yeah, I guess that's, I don't know, just from being a neutral observer, I feel like that is probably the most soul-crushing loss I have ever seen for anyone in this sport.
Yeah, and in this sport, obviously, you got the Super Bowl with Seattle and New England, and that is definitely soul-crushing. But for just the circumstances of what was happening, for Denny Hamlin, it's been 20 years of trying, 20 years of frustration. He's currently got the lawsuit off the racetrack. His dad is dying. All of his, we both were there on the grid. There was so much commotion was happening around that 11 car before the race. There were so many fans. His mom was here. All 3 of his kids were there. His fiance Jordan was there, and it looked like for the longest time. But Byron cuts a tire. Let's go to that pit road though. Brad Keselowski, Ryan Preece both stay out, which was just shocking. The 5, Kyle Larson takes 2 tires. How shocking was it that not only did A, they take 2 tires, but B, that it worked, because we saw so many people cut tires the entire race. How surprised and how shocking was that?
I think it's 2 laps, and we did see Corey Heim go from 10th to 1st with a bonsai move in turns 1 and 2 going 7 wide, but those are trucks. These are next-gen cars. Even with the tires, it's a bit more of a difficulty of passing here. And so Denny made a couple passes, but he wasn't able to make enough passes. And, Larson restarted 5th, finished 3rd. And Denny restarted 10th, finished 6th.
For Chase Briscoe, it was an eventful day up and down. He cut 18 million tires. He will be back. For Denny Hamlin, though, where do you go from here? 6 wins, 60th win. He all of everything happening off the racetrack. Where does he go from here? I asked Chris Gabehart or Chris Gale if this drove him more, and he says that even though that they didn't win the title, they still had a great year, so they're just going to hopefully translate that. I talked with Denny's producer, Jared. He's like, I asked him if this will drive him. He says, I don't know if he'll drive him. He's confident and content with where he's at in life right now. I mean, you had a fantastic question to him about just... Actually, I'm going to have you explain it. What did you ask him, and then what was his answer?
The question I asked him in the media center was, we don't know what playoff format we're going to have next year, but with the way this format has gone, the final race is high stakes. The points are so close, everyone's so close together, and that last caution flipped the race completely upside down. So my question to him was, would it be beneficial to have the final race end at the scheduled distance?
And his answer?
He said, I don't know. I'm not really sure, because at this point, I don't want to be anywhere near a race car. He said it with a smile a little bit. But man, I mean, I then asked him, where do you just go from here? And, he just said, I really don't know. This time everything was put together and just still didn't work out.
Yeah, it's just really, really unfortunate for everybody. I talked with Jared Allen, and he said he was just heartbroken for all the, not for Denny in general, but for Denny and all the support that they've gotten. I mean, we saw the fans and just the sentiment that has basically changed from all boos to a little cheers to quite a few cheers. It's just really unfortunate, and no disrespect to Larson, but I just feel like it was not his best year. But the thing is, Steven, it's one race and anything can happen.
Yep, I mean, that's just the nature of this format, and I mean, like, and it sucks, like, because think about the last 2 days, like, Jesse Love, dominated the end of the final race, but no one was really talking about him or just how impressive a drive he had, because everyone's thinking about Connor Zilich's 10-win season and how it didn't end with a title unbelievably. And it's kind of the same here. Like, the rules that was set out, Larson, Cliff Daniels, they made the right strategy call. They won the championship fair and square given the rules that are in place. But that title theirs, and Larson clearly is a driver, a two-time champion caliber driver. It's just, their performance this season is just going to be overshadowed or, have an asterisk by some people because of the way it ended.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but that's racing in 2025. Hopefully we won't have to have this conversation again in 2026. Steven, final thoughts. What are you going to most remember about this weekend?
Well, I guess I'll say my final thoughts from this race first, and I think, that championship battle, that ending was so shocking. For 10 minutes after the race, I didn't even know who won the race.
Same.
It was Ryan Blaney.
We didn't even mention that yet. Ryan Blaney won the race.
Yeah, it was Ryan Blaney that won the race, and I need to go look back because I don't. But apparently, I think he made the pass in the final two turns on Brad Keselowski.
I didn't even know. I talked with Brad and everything, and I had to look at the pylon. I was like, oh, okay, the sixth finished second. Kyle Busch finished fifth. I mean, okay. And Michael McDowell finished eighth. Okay, Ryan Preece ninth. I mean, it's so different than any other sports because you have non-playoff teams with playoff teams, and they get overlooked in situations like this. So congratulations to Ryan Blaney. Last but not least, all of our content. For me, it's youtube.com/Frontstretch. I talked to Chris Gale, Denny Hamlin's crew chief, Chris Gabehart, the JGR competition director. I talked with Jared Allen, Denny's producer. I got all of the Denny Hamlin angles covered. And for this guy, he wrote about Denny Hamlin. Give a little teaser about it.
Just talked about, the race he had, how it ended, his comments afterwards, just, I guess, just how much of a shock it was too, considering just how close he came, But you also said, what are your final thoughts on this weekend as a whole? And I guess I will officially answer that now. And coming into this, I thought that this weekend was going to be the end of an era because there was enough traction online. We don't know what play format we're going to have next year, but it kind of seems from what's being said that we're probably done with the one race format at the end. And I guess I'll say that with the last weekend there, for better or worse, it went out with a bang.
Boy, did it. And farewell to the one race, I will definitely not miss you. I know Joey Logano, I talked to him after. He says he's going to miss it if it does leave. He may be one of the very, very few. So for all the latest content, frontstretch.com, youtube.com/frontstretch, at Steven_Stumpf, at the Bryan Nolen. Big thanks to everybody back at the home office. Everybody from Tom and Anthony, our editors this weekend, to Nixie and Trenton, our video editors, and everybody in between, our Beth and Phil, our social guys. It is an army here at Frontstretch, and for everybody at the track that you saw, from Dalton and Danny and Massey and Anthony and Trenton, and of course us too, as well as my man, Mr. Dalton Hopkins, I am Bryan Nolen for Steven Stumpf and everybody associated with Frontstretch.com. It's been a pleasure to serve you guys in 2025. We're going to take a little bit of a short break, but don't worry, we'll be back in 2026 for some more great NASCAR racing.
Hey guys, it's Josh from the Pit Stop. Make sure you check out our brand new website, or our Whatnot show is Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Thank you so much.